by the left. Listen to this.
There's always been an association with the idea that there's a subtle whisper that small government or big government means that you're going to spend money on blacks. And that's what comes out in these public opinion polls. When you ask them their opinions about blacks, it's very predictive of what they think about the Tea Party movement.
Okay, so why would an African American want anything to do with the Tea Parties if they're filled with racists? What's really going on inside the Tea Parties? Let's ask Angela McGlowan, running for Congress, and UCLA political science professor Mark Sawyer, who you just heard on that sound. He joins us again. Angela, I'm going to start with you. Why would you want to be associated with a party that Mark would characterize as being racist?
Because a lot of liberals do race baiting, and at the end of the day, Eric, is taxed enough already. And poverty knows no color. Tax increases knows no color. And at the end of the day, under this administration, they say nationally that the unemployment rate is 10%, but in my state of Mississippi, it's over 10%. And minorities own a lot of small businesses, which are the backbone of this country, and small businesses are suffering. And at the end of the day, it's not about color, it's not about black or white, it's not about Republican or Democrat, it's about greed and wealth redistribution. So I don't see how people consider Tea Parties racist.
Well, go ahead, Professor. You threw that statement out there a couple of nights ago, and do you defend it?
It's not an opinion. It's just an analysis of actual data from a survey about the racial attitudes of people who support the Tea Party, including blacks who support the Tea Party, who tend to also score high on when you ask them about stereotypes about other blacks. That has nothing to do. I actually agree about the issues in terms of communities of color are disproportionately hit with high unemployment and things like that. And, of course, communities of color aren't universally poor. Myself, I've probably had my own taxes raised by the
honestly, I hosted this show Monday night when that segment was going on. This is a different tune. You were much more aggressive. You said that the Tea Parties were, in fact, racist, and you went to some study that apparently showed that of the whites supporting Tea Parties, 35% said that blacks were, only 35% said that blacks were hardworking. I mean, this is crazy. You can make any study, anything look like anything, but now you're telling me it's kind of evenly skewed between blacks and whites who support Tea Parties.
Right. No, I mean, this is nothing new that blacks who tend to support conservative policies tend to also have actually strange and twisted views. I mean, sometimes people about their own group, sometimes people within the group can have the same views about the group themselves.
Angela,
it's just social science. It's not anything that's novel.
Ange, hold on one second, Mark.
Yes,
what's strange and twisted? Could you clarify what you mean by that?
Mm-hmm. Please.
I mean, such as if black Tea Partiers are more likely to believe that blacks are less likely to work hard, are less capable, or less intelligent. Black Tea Partiers believe that, not quite as much as white Tea Partiers are, but there's a correlation between that and support for the Tea Party.
And that would be strange.
You are a
Go ahead,
dangerous
Angela.
man.
Go ahead, Angela.
Mark, you are a dangerous man. At the end of the day, I come from humble beginnings. I'm the youngest of 5. I have an orthopedic surgeon in my family. I have PhDs in my family. I'm a Tea Party supporter, not a Tea Party member, and the Tea Party did recruit me to run for office. I've held healthcare forums in the state of Mississippi, and I've held forums all across this country. And for you to state, sir, with all due respect, that people like me that support that we've been taxed enough already, that we have a twisted point of view, I know a lot of black conservatives who are registered Democrats, but yet and still they believe they've been taxed enough already. They're pro-life and they're pro-marriage. So, sir, for you to say that people who are of color, and you have Hispanics and blacks that are part of this movement, and you have Democrats and independents, have twisted minds, that is ridiculous. And I think it's disrespectful.
Go ahead,
totally
Mark.
Disrespectful.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, it's sort of a non sequitur. I mean, all I'm doing is looking at statistical trends within a survey. I mean, it's not my personal view. It's actually lamentable. I don't believe that. And also, it doesn't mean that every single African-American person, every single Hispanic that supports the Tea Party has those views. There is a statistical association. It's the difference between just saying things that are your opinion, which this isn't my opinion. It's just lamentable use of the data and a well-conducted study by Professor Chris Parker at the University of Washington, who's a well-respected political scientist. Look, there's rules to these kinds of analyses. analyses in social science, and we publish in peer-reviewed journals. It's not. I mean, sometimes I can just say things that are my opinion, but this is just following the data. And I'm sure
Mark,
you're
I'd
working
like to
hard.
see-
Look, I work hard too. My taxes have been raised because I fall in the upper tax bracket, and I understand that, and I'm willing to pay for my prosperity as being part of America.
Angela?
Mark, I would like to see this study. And at the end of the day, I believe in statistics, but in poll numbers and certain studies, it depends on the group that you study, and things can be skewed. But, sir, as an intelligent man, to make the comments that you've made, and you're flip-flopping. Even in this interview with me, you're flip-flopping. At the end of the day, to make blanket comments like that, that's why I wrote my book, Bamboozled, How Americans Are Being Exploited by the Lies of the Liberal Agenda, because you can take anything and use some truth. You can take anything and use some truth and put some lies with it, and it's a lie. And at the end of the day, this study is to say that blacks that are part of this movement feel that other blacks don't work hard enough. That's what I just got from you, sir. And I'm an intellectual, and that's what I got from you.
Mark, will you concede that blacks are a part of the Tea Party movement?
Yes, of course. Obviously, they are. With Angela, we're talking to her, they are. And look, when you poll people around the country, and look, it's not the first study that's shown this amongst a certain group of black conservatives. There's a long literature on this kind of thing. I'm not alone. There also is there's a long literature that shows the association with whites and small government also comes with anti-black racism. I'm not the only one that says it. This is kind of settled fact in study after study after study. I mean, I don't want to question, Angela's intellectual credentials. I mean, she's very smart or whatever, but look, I'm a professional social scientist. This is what I do for a living. And it's not, look, I found that there was more racism in Cuba than the United States. If I was, such a socialist lefty, I would have said the U.S. was more racist.
Sawyer, that's another
I just
segment.
follow the data.
That's another segment for another day. Angela McGlowan, thank you very much. Mark Sawyer, awesome, great debate. Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
guys. All right, on
Thank
deck,
you.
on deck, unions hitting the